If your quest for longevity feels overwhelming, here's some good news. It starts with one simple daily habit. MitoPure gummies from Timeline. They're the first ever longevity gummies that ignite mitophagy, your body's natural anti-aging pathway. MitoPure is a clinically validated solution backed by over 15 years of research. MitoPure gummies utilize a powerful compound that redefines what's possible for your longevity. MitoPure produces the first ever urolithin A gummies that support your cellular energy so you feel strong, clear, and vibrant. Boost your cellular energy and enhance muscle strength and endurance, all without changing your diet or exercise routine. As someone who loves to stay active, I've noticed a significant boost in my workouts since I started using it. I feel stronger and more energized, and my recovery time has improved dramatically. Better recovery starts at the cellular level. For more information and to order, just go to timeline.com/Hoffman. Use coupon code Hoffman at checkout for 20% off. That's timeline.com/Hoffman for 20% off MitoPure gummies with code Hoffman.
Welcome to Intelligent Medicine, America's foremost program on health, medicine, and nutrition, featuring the latest on both conventional and alternative therapies. Now, here's Dr. Ronald Hoffman.
Welcome back to Intelligent Medicine. Dr. Ronald Hoffman here. Our number is 877-726-8255. I can't think of a place I'd rather be than right here behind this very microphone, because it is an extraordinary privilege to be able to share vital health information with you and to address your questions and concerns via 877-726-8255. That's the conduit that gets you directly into the doctor's office. And you can pose a question or share a comment. Perhaps you're reacting to something that we've said or one of our podcasts during the week. We'd be happy to engage in a conversation with you. So, when it comes to sugar exposure, we know that sugar is bad for us, but it's kind of hard to do a study because we could take thousands and thousands of people and sequester them under armed guard and maybe with video surveillance and make sure that they don't eat any sugar versus a bunch of free-living folks who eat as much sugar as they want. And we could observe them for years and find out what's the outcome. We have an idea what the outcome might be, but when it comes to proof positive, it's unclear what might happen if we actually did an experiment. We do observational studies, but people who eat a lot of sugar, they do a lot of bad things. Maybe they don't exercise as much. Maybe they eat a lot of other junk. Maybe they're poorer. Maybe they're less well educated. And so there are a lot of factors that go into whether you're going to have cardiovascular disease or live longer. But there's a natural experiment that occurred, 75 years ago or more, in Great Britain that sheds light on the impact of sugar use versus sugar avoidance. The study that I'm looking at here just came out. Exposure to sugar rationing in first 1,000 days after conception. That's roughly 0 to 3 years of age, right? 1,000 years after conception. That's about right. Figure the 9 months. So maybe a little less than 3 years. And long-term cardiovascular outcomes. A natural experiment study. It's a natural experiment because this is actually something that I didn't even realize historically. I've talked to older people who grew up in the UK. They're dying off now. But they're people who were born in the post-war years, and they were children during the 1950s. And they have very, very bad recollections, very dark recollections of what it was like to live in post-war Britain in the late 1940s and early 1950s. because a lot of people don't know that not only was there wartime rationing, but there was rationing, sugar rationing, until between October 1951 and March 1956. So I'm sorry, the end of rationing occurred was 1953. So the people who were born in those years, their first 1,000 days, they had very little sugar. And so afterwards they relaxed the sugar restrictions. And, you know, if you go to the UK these days, people consume a ton of sugar. There's a lot of sugar that people consume. Sugar is ubiquitous. But the impact of sugar restriction in early life was the object of this study. And they looked at heart attack, heart failure, atrial fibrillation, stroke, cardiovascular disease, death, in what is called the UK Biobank, which is 63,000 participants born between October 1951 and March 1956. Okay. So what they found was that longer exposure to sugar rationing was associated with progressively lower cardiovascular disease risk in adulthood. Compared with people never exposed to rationing, those exposed, get this, in utero, because that's important too, plus 1 to 2 years of sugar restriction had about 80% the risk of heart disease, about 75% the risk of myocardial infarction, 74% the risk for heart failure, 76% of the risk for atrial fibrillation, 69% of the risk for stroke. This is compared to 100%. So they had dramatically reduced risk, 73% reduced risk for cardiovascular disease death. And they say that major reasons for this are reduced risk of diabetes and hypertension. And there was also, sugar rationing was also associated with an increase in what's called ejection fraction. In other words, the strength of beating of the heart. And these are individuals who had their ejection fraction not checked when they were 3 years old, but as adults after some degree of sugar restriction during the first 1,000 days of life. So what an important intervention that could be to just simply, for moms during pregnancy and for babies and toddlers, to restrict their exposure to sugar, much like sugar rationing. Yeah, they had some sugar, but it was like a big deal when you could get some sugar during sugar rationing in the UK in those really austere post-war years. It was a gloomy time for the UK, but health benefits were garnered by people exposed to that draconian restriction. 877-726-8255, our number. Folks, aging doesn't have to mean slowing down. Meet MitoPure, the revolutionary urolithin A supplement from Timeline. MitoPure ignites something called mitophagy. It's your body's natural anti-aging pathway. It's a cleanup process because as we age, our cells build up damage and their ability to create energy drops. MitoPure, as its name suggests, targets the mitochondria. It restores your energy at the source. It's a clinically validated solution backed by over 15 years of research. Boost your cellular energy and enhance muscle strength and endurance, all without changing your diet or exercise routine. As someone who loves to stay active, I've noticed a significant boost in my workouts since I started taking MitoPure. I feel stronger and more energized, and my recovery time has improved dramatically. Less downtime after strenuous exertion. Imagine having the energy to tackle every challenge that comes your way. MitoPure is a game changer, so I'm excited to share that you can now get 20% off any Timeline supplement or skincare purchase. They've got great skincare products as well. including the all-new MitoPure gummies. Just visit timeline.com/Hoffman. Use code Hoffman at checkout to receive 20% off MitoPure today in a special offer to Intelligent Medicine listeners. There's never been a better time to experience the benefits of MitoPure. Timeline.com/Hoffman to order. All right. This side of, I have a tendency, obviously I was trained in hospitals, and you can really make a difference by washing your hands. And, cameras reveal and studies have revealed that doctors often touch patients and then they don't take the time to wash their hands, and then they transmit harmful bacteria to patients. And so we spend a lot of time being exhorted to wash our hands. And often the notion is the hotter the better. And this is something that I've done for a long time. It's like I wash, cold water. It's not as effective. Just as hot as you can stand, right? Not obviously to the point where it burns you or it's super uncomfortable, but, pump up the volume when it comes to the temperature of water when you wash your hands. So this is actually an article from Andrew Weil. Andrew Weil writes about health issues. A team of researchers at Vanderbilt University looked into the question of, is it best to wash your hands with warm water, or will cold water or lukewarm water suffice? Researchers at Vanderbilt University looked into this question and concluded that, contrary to widespread belief, washing your hands in hot water doesn't kill germs more effectively and doesn't get your hands any cleaner than washing with cold water. And, folks, it's a simple biology. In order to kill bacteria in your hands with water alone, you'd have to use boiling water. That would burn you. That's 212 degrees Fahrenheit. In general, the temperature of hot water used for hand washing ranges from 104 to up to 131 degrees. 131 degrees, pretty uncomfortable. The Vanderbilt researchers noted that at the high end of that range, the water temperature might kill some germs, but could also scald your skin, and that might put you at risk for skin infections because you're damaging your skin surfaces, your defenses are undermined by skin damage. And, also I've seen hospital workers with terrible hand dermatitis, especially during COVID, because we got nuts about using disinfectant, even just lay people using disinfectant all day long, washing with hot water. A lot of patients came in with just, really red, irritated skin on their hands, and they just damaged the protective layer. So investigators found that washing your hands in cold water temperatures of just 40 degrees, that's cold, seems to reduce bacteria as effectively as warmer water, providing that you actually scrub, rinse, and dry your hands properly. So there you have it. This myth about, the hot water, it doesn't help. 877-726-8255 is our number. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman, and this is Intelligent Medicine. Our brains are made mostly of fat, so why not nourish them with the highest quality omega-3s available? Omega-3 Rejuvenate from Big Bolt Health. Omega-3 Rejuvenate is a premium blend of pure oils from wild-caught Alaskan cod and sockeye salmon, sourced from the pristine waters of Alaska. This is not the story of other brands. The fact is, most of the world's fish oil products are produced from several types of species packed into nets in commercial fishing zones, loaded into the holds of vessels that stay out for days or even weeks, and put in processing plants that treat them with high heat, chemicals, and synthetic nutrients. Big Bold Health does it differently, all of it straight from the sea into the hands of skilled fishermen, instantly flash frozen and taken to their specially designed shoreside plant using a low-heat technique to extract the pure amber omega oil that contains all natural and abundant full-spectrum omega-3s, including EPA, DHA, as well as DPA, plus all natural vitamins A and D, and naturally occurring pro-resolving mediators to support cardiovascular, cognitive, and immune health. Their unique low-temperature extraction preserves the natural goodness of the fish so you get maximum benefits in every soft gel. No fillers, no shortcuts, just pure, potent wellness. Visit bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman and experience the difference. That's bigboldhealth.com/Hoffman for Omega-3 Rejuvenate. Use coupon code Hoffman20 for 20% off site-wide. If your quest for longevity feels overwhelming, here's some good news. It starts with one simple daily habit. MitoPure gummies from Timeline. They're the first ever longevity gummies that ignite mitophagy, your body's natural anti-aging pathway. MitoPure is a clinically validated solution backed by over 15 years of research. MitoPure gummies utilize a powerful compound that redefines what's possible for your longevity. MitoPure produces the first ever urolithin A gummies that support your cellular energy so you feel strong, clear, and vibrant. Boost your cellular energy and enhance muscle strength and endurance, all without changing your diet or exercise routine. As someone who loves to stay active, I've noticed a significant boost in my workouts since I started using it. I feel stronger and more energized, and my recovery time has improved dramatically. Better recovery starts at the cellular level. For more information and to order, just go to timeline.com/Hoffman. Use coupon code Hoffman at checkout for 20% off. That's timeline.com/Hoffman for 20% off MitoPure gummies with code Hoffman.
A regular dose of intelligent medicine injected directly into your inbox. Subscribe to Dr. Hoffman's free newsletter. Just go to drhoffman.com.
Welcome back to Intelligent Medicine. Dr. Ronald Hoffman here. Our number is 877-726-8255. And let's hear one of those questions.
Hey, Doc, why do I feel sick if I don't eat? And say every hour and a half, 2 hours tops, I feel like throwing up.
Okay. All right. So that's an interesting question. Actually, this is a question that our good colleague Layla Buden wrote about in one of her weekly columns for our newsletter. So I'd refer you to that. But I'll tell you what she had to say. First of all, there could be something going on medically that might be concerning, because people who have gastritis or inflammation of the stomach, they tend to build up acidity, and without food in the stomach, it irritates the stomach. They feel nauseous. They sometimes feel pain, and they have to eat to sort of coat the stomach lining and buffer the acidity. And so that may be the sign of some incipient stomach problem. So maybe see a gastroenterologist for a checkout. The other thing that can happen is that people who have to eat frequently often have problems with appetite regulation due to blood sugar fluctuations. So when they eat, the blood sugar goes up, and that relieves the problem temporarily, and then they get reactive hypoglycemia, and then they have to eat some more, and they're on a blood sugar roller coaster all day. And that often is related to weak adrenal function, because the adrenals are kind of the alarm system which helps keep your blood sugar stable and offset low blood sugar. When you have low blood sugar, you release norepinephrine and cortisol, and those help to stabilize blood sugar. If you're overproducing cortisol, your blood sugar will remain too high. It's like being on steroids. And so sometimes we want to support the adrenals in people who have these types of problems. So, but get a checkout, because this may be a sign of something. One of the suggestions that Layla had was that some people who have to eat frequently, particularly when they crave certain foods, you know, they got a real Jones for, they got to have some cheese, or they got to have some bread, is that they're actually going through food withdrawal. People can become addicted to certain types of foods. And when you go through withdrawal, you know, just like when you go through caffeine withdrawal or tobacco withdrawal or drug withdrawal, you have a craving, and the only way to satisfy the craving is to imbibe the culprit substance. And so that may be the case for some people who have intense cravings for food. They just feel lousy when they don't have the food, and somehow the food, you know, taking in the food relieves their withdrawal symptoms. And that's another possibility when you have the kind of symptoms that you describe. 877-726-8255 is their number. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman, and this is Intelligent Medicine.
Have you ever heard someone say that probiotics didn't work for them? Since all probiotics are not the same, the probiotic you choose can make the difference between superior results and no results. Look for an enriched formula containing these 3 key components for best results: probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. A worldwide leader in microbiome health for over 40 years, Dr. Ohhira's Probiotics is an enriched full-spectrum probiotic system fermenting multiple strains of probiotic bacteria and nourishing prebiotics. The result? Transformative postbiotic metabolites that maintain and support the biodiversity of flora in your gut for optimal digestion, gut-brain, and immune health. Dr. Ohhira's, certified vegetarian, free of gluten, allergens, dairy, and GMOs. Get Dr. Ohhira's probiotics today at Sprouts, Natural Grocers, Whole Foods, and other natural health retailers nationwide.
Kids don't just bring home homework, they bring home germs. And those germs don't just stay with them, they spread to the whole household. That's why Clear Nasal Spray was created by a practicing physician to give parents and grandparents peace of mind. You may not think about it, but your nose is filtering out a semi-truck full of air every single day. Clear isn't just another spray. It creates an additional layer of protection in your nose that blocks bacteria and viruses before they can even take hold. Yes, even that virus. Supporting your body's defenses right where germs first try to enter. Clear is a hygiene product recommended for daily use, drug-free, non-drowsy, and safe for all ages. Just a quick spray in the morning and evening helps you cleanse your nose. Don't just hope for protection, create it. Get Clear Nasal Spray, your daily defense. Clear Nasal Spray is available at retailers nationwide and online. Check out Xlear.com for our special offers. That's Xlear.com.
drhoffman.com, your portal for cutting-edge information on health and nutrition.
Welcome back to Intelligent Medicine. Dr. Ronald Hoffman here. 877-726-8255 is our number. And, of course, there's gridlock in Congress, and a lot of it is about how we're going to pay for health care. And, whatever system we're going to use, whether it's full-on socialized medicine or Obamacare or private care, there's going to be some flaws because our healthcare system is inefficient, expensive, and people can fall between the cracks. And here's an example of how that might happen. Interestingly, to a doctor. This is the experience of physician Lauren Hughes. She was heading to see patients at a clinic about 20 miles from her Denver home in February when another driver T-boned her Subaru, totaling it. She was taken by ambulance to the closest hospital, Platte Valley Hospital. And after all was said and done, she received a $64,000 bill for her hospital treatment. The article says that Dr. Hughes was examined in the emergency room where she was diagnosed with bruising. She had a deep cut on her knee and a broken ankle after an automobile crash. Physicians recommended immediate surgical repair, of course. They said, you have this fracture and a big gaping wound in your knee. We need to take you to the OR immediately to wash it out and make sure there's no infection. And she said, yeah, she's a physician. She knows the deal. And she said, do whatever you have to do. So she was taken to the operating room that evening. And then she was admitted to the hospital overnight. It was a very short stay. A friend came to pick her up because her car was totaled and took her home the next day. Then the bills came. It totaled to let's get the exact figure, $63,976.35 charged by the hospital. Why was she charged? Because she was not in network with the insurance plan that she got through her job. I mean, she's a physician and she was insured by her physician group. And they got her on a technicality because they said the hospital wasn't an in-network hospital. Now, when you're in a car crash and you're taken by ambulance to a hospital and you're really kind of out of it, you're in shock, and you're alone, you're not going to make the most, rational decisions like, oh, let me make sure that I go to an in-network hospital. She went to the closest hospital. She's probably out in the boonies there in the Colorado mountains outside of Denver. And she was indeed covered for the nearly $2,400 ambulance rides. The ambulance ride's very expensive. And some smaller radiology charges from the ER. But when it came to the surgery and the overnight stay, because, man, you could stay at the Waldorf in the penthouse suite, and it'll be cheaper than staying in most hospitals these days. $63,000 for a broken ankle and a cut to the knee, with no head injury or internal damage. Imagine if she'd had like a more serious critical injury. So to use the notion that she should have left the hospital to go to an in-network hospital was, quote, ludicrous. Her car was in a junkyard. She had no family nearby. And she, was immediately given opioid painkillers when she got to the emergency room. So she wasn't, that resourceful. When she asked for further details about medical necessity determination, she was directed to the policy benefit booklet, which outlines that for a hospital stay, documentation must show, quote, safe and adequate care could not be obtained as an outpatient. So they thought that maybe after the car crash, she simply should have gone home, with a deep cut and a broken ankle, and waited till she could find an appropriate appointment for medical care at an in-network provider. Okay, so the lesson from this is she appealed. And the result of the appeal was successful. Hughes did not understand why she wasn't shielded by something called the No Surprises Act, which, by the way, they have such a thing. It was legislated in 2022. It's a federal law that requires insurers to cover out-of-network providers as though they are in-network when patients receive emergency care. So, this is, I think, is a pretty clear-cut case of emergency care, right? But they deemed it this sort of like elective care, like, you just have a deep cut and a broken ankle, and you should have gone to an in-network provider. Well, there's some technicality in her plan that supersedes the no surprises distinction. So finally, the hospital, Platte Valley Hospital, apologized and ultimately didn't charge her. They say the facility deeply regrets any anxiety the situation has caused the poor doctor. The hospital had, quote, prematurely and erroneously sent Hughes a bill before working out the balance with the insurer, Anthem. Further, we have informed Dr. Hughes that if her insurance company ultimately assigns the remaining balance to her, she will not be billed for it. In the end, Hughes owed only a $250 co-payment. So the take-home message is quickly and aggressively question insurance denials once they're received, including by asking for your case to be escalated to the insurer's and hospital's leadership. And, she's a savvy patient. She's a doctor. And I guess they thought that this might become a public relations nightmare for the hospital to make such an egregious decision about billing someone for what is most obviously urgent emergency care. But it just illustrates what can happen. It's like little things can end you with a medical bankruptcy. 877-726-8255, our number. Folks, I've always considered CoQ10 to be one of my core supplements. We've talked about the mitochondria here a lot on Intelligent Medicine. CoQ10 is a powerful antioxidant that supports energy production and heart health. Supplementing with CoQ10 is especially important if you're on a statin, because statins deplete CoQ10 levels, and so many people out there, many of you listeners, are taking them. But not all CoQ10 supplements are created equal. Many brands fail to deliver the full benefits, but new research shows that NT-factor lipids will improve the utilization of CoQ10, according to studies, by more than 200%. That's why Nutritional Therapeutics created CoQ10 with NT-factor lipids. It's a breakthrough formula scientifically proven to repair and restore your mitochondrial membranes, because when they're healthy, your body can fully utilize CoQ10. I don't go a day without NT-factor. I use the powder, put it in my shake, but you can also get the product that's teamed with CoQ10 as a 1-2 punch for your mitochondria. It helps you feel your best and reduces fatigue and signs of aging. So for a limited time, buy 1 bottle of NT-factor with CoQ10 and get a second bottle free. Just go to ntfactor.com for this BOGO offer. Buy 1, get 1 free. That's ntfactor.com. Don't settle for ordinary CoQ10. Upgrade to the formula that I recommend, NT-factor with CoQ10. All right, food fight between the DASH diet and the VLC diet, the very low carbohydrate diet. DASH diet is something that was invented to treat hypertension. It is a very low fat diet that includes lots of whole grains. It's about 60 to 70% in terms of calories delivered by carbohydrates. It includes starchy vegetables like potatoes, low-fat dairy, small amounts of animal protein, and lots of fruits and vegetables. And fruits can also sometimes provide some degree of carbohydrates, especially, succulent, sweet fruits. But the DASH diet has been touted as the best diet for hypertension. Well, here in the study, toe-to-toe, they compared the VLC, the very low carbohydrate diet, versus the DASH diet for overweight or obese adults with hypertension, as well as prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. 94 adults from Southeast Michigan with this triple multimorbidity. So triple threat: high blood pressure, prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, and obesity. Okay? And that's what we call metabolic syndrome, right? Insulin resistance metabolic syndrome. So they compared the diets. Compared with the DASH diet, the VLC diet led to greater improvement in estimated mean systolic blood pressure. It reduced blood pressure by 10 points, while the DASH diet reduced the blood pressure by 5 points. There was greater improvements in hemoglobin A1C, a reduction of 0.35 versus 0.14, and greater improvement in weight, a nearly 20-pound reduction versus a 10-pound reduction with the DASH diet. So the conclusion is that maybe, just maybe, think about the very low carbohydrate diet versus the DASH diet as a way to address all the lead up to stroke and heart attack, the combination of obesity, hypertension, insulin resistance, prediabetes, or full-blown type 2 diabetes. The VLC diet might be more beneficial for disease management than the DASH diet, they say, for these high-risk adults. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman. 877-726-8255 is our number for Intelligent Medicine. There were many important reasons why I started my FullScript online supplement dispensary. I wanted to offer you the same curated professional-grade supplement brands that I use, the ones I know and trust. I also wanted to ensure that they weren't counterfeit or expired. Recently, I've been hearing more and more about counterfeit or expired products purchased from online retailers. With FullScript, you can be confident your supplements are genuine and they'll arrive with optimal freshness and potency. Also, buying through FullScript offers fast, free shipping, optional refill reminders, and a highly rated mobile app. It's safe, secure, HIPAA-compliant, and offers world-class support. Go to drhoffmanstore.com for more information and to start your free FullScript account. You'll get access to the supplements and features you need to help you achieve your wellness goals, including my custom targeted protocols that combine the products I recommend to address specific needs: heart health, immune support, and much more. To get started, just go to drhoffmanstore.com, drhoffmanstore.com. life-prolonging.com. As you know, it's important to me that the supplements I recommend and use are of the highest quality. That's why I stock the Protocol for Life Balance product line at my online dispensary, drhoffman.com/Protocol for Life Balance. Protocol for Life Balance offers a wide range of professional-grade products using ingredients backed by strong scientific research, including a suite of supplements specifically designed to support neurological health and cognition: Coggumin SLCP, Magtine, phosphatidylserine, and Brain Regain. Coggumin SLPC is curcumin optimized to penetrate the blood-brain barrier, where it helps protect brain tissue. Magtine may support healthy cognitive function, learning, and memory. Phosphatidylserine supports neuronal membrane fluidity, promoting cognitive function and mental acuity. And Brain Regain is a broadly useful herbal health aid that may be advantageous for supporting healthy cognitive performance. For more information and to order, just go to drhoffman.com/Protocol for Life Balance. That's drhoffman.com/Protocol for Life Balance. Protocol for Life Balance is an A-rated GMP manufacturer of premium dietary supplements.
A regular dose of intelligent medicine injected directly into your inbox. Subscribe to Dr. Hoffman's free newsletter. Just go to drhoffman.com.
Welcome back to Intelligent Medicine. Dr. Ronald Hoffman here. Time for one additional call via 877-726-8255. Let's hear it.
Good morning, Dr. Hoffman. I have a question. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I seem to be working on it, but it's not much better. I'd like your opinion on it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, when it comes to rheumatoid arthritis, there really is a nutritional concomitant because something like an autoimmune paleo diet, and you can look that up, autoimmune paleo diet, can be helpful for rheumatoid arthritis, and it eliminates modern foods, kind of goes back to basics, animal protein, fish, chicken, eggs, meat, no dairy, considered a modern food, no grains, no legumes, that includes peanuts, and lots of fresh vegetables and some fruit, but less in the way of very sugary fruit or fruit juice. And that can be helpful for rheumatoid arthritis, in my experience. Now, it may take some time for that to kick in, but also make sure you take lots of omega-3 fatty acids. Yeah. And you can also add some SPM, specific pro-resolving mediators. The type of fish oil that we now recommend from Big Bold Health contains some pro-resolving mediators, but you might want to add some more of them because they really are the rubber that meets the road when it comes to inflammation. And then there are natural anti-inflammatories. Boswellia and curcumin can be helpful as well. Sometimes when there's a lot of joint inflammation, you can take products that are proteolytic enzymes with bromelain that may relieve pain and inflammation. And then you have to start, as you experience more pain, more deformity, you have to start going up the ladder with medications. And there's now kind of a stepwise progression. Then you start with just ordinary non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, which, relieve the pain but don't ultimately affect the condition. And then you go to immunosuppressive medication. They used to use a lot of methotrexate. Now they jump to what are called biologicals, which can arrest the progression of the disease to some extent and prevent deformity, but they're not that great for you long term. So we like to be somewhat sparing of those, if at all possible. The microbiome is important too, and we want to replete the microbiome with beneficial probiotics. That could be part of an approach for rheumatoid arthritis. And so there you have it. I think there's a lot of research and provable scientific information about the impact of natural support for arthritis. It doesn't always do the trick entirely, but start with the fish oil and vitamin D and work up with some of the other supplements that I've talked about. And over time, you may see some real slowing down of the degenerative process and the pain that's associated with rheumatoid arthritis. So there you have it. And speaking of vitamin D, there's a couple of new studies on vitamin D. Vitamin D protects telomeres. What are telomeres? Telomeres are the things that cap your chromosomes, and as you get older, they shorten, and they cause your chromosomes to unravel, and then it's game over. Every time your cells divide, these telomeres get a little shorter. It turns out that in a 4-year study of 1,000 plus people, 2,000 IUs of vitamin D daily measurably slowed telomere shortening, which suggests that it may have an impact on health and longevity. Vitamin D reduced telomere attrition by 140 base pairs over 4 years. These are the base pairs that make up the telomeres. In the same study, omega-3 fatty acids did not have an impact on telomere length. So it's vitamin D that did it. Vitamin D versus depression. According to this study, vitamin D protects against depression. Evidence from a meta-analysis on both interventional and observational trials. And what they found was that, in people with low vitamin D, there was a higher risk of depression. And other intervention trials, where they actually gave people with depression vitamin D, showed greater improvement than those individuals who did not receive vitamin D treatment. So there you have it when it comes to the benefits of vitamin D. They just keep rolling in. Vitamin D, super important. All right, 877-726-8255 is our number. And you can also email questions for our weekly Q&A with Layla podcast, questions@drhoffman.net. Check out our full script dispensary, where we feature only the highest quality supplements. drhoffmanstore.com is the place to go. And through FullScript, you can access my custom protocols that combine the products I recommend to help you achieve your specific health goals. You can begin with a starter kit where I outline what some of the basics are, and then expand with additional supplements that concern different realms like allergy, bone, brain, detox, heart, immune, sleep and stress support. And buying through FullScript assures you fast, free shipping, as well as confidence that the products you receive are safe and not adulterated and have not been sitting on a shelf for a long time and are expired. So check out our FullScript dispensary, drhoffmanstore.com. Also, follow us at drhoffman.com for all things intelligent medicine. Subscribe to our newsletter. All of us on social media. We're active on X and on Facebook. And don't forget to listen to our weekly podcasts. They're available through all your local podcast sources, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, etc. Have a great weekend. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman.
There were many important reasons why I started my FullScript online supplement dispensary. I wanted to offer you the same curated professional-grade supplement brands that I use, the ones I know and trust. I also wanted to ensure that they weren't counterfeit or expired. Recently, I've been hearing more and more about counterfeit or expired products purchased from online retailers. With FullScript, you can be confident your supplements are genuine and they'll arrive with optimal freshness and potency. Also, buying through FullScript offers fast, free shipping, optional refill reminders, and a highly rated mobile app. It's safe, secure, HIPAA compliant, and offers world-class support. Go to drhoffmanstore.com for more information and to start your free FullScript account. You'll get access to the supplements and features you need to help you achieve your wellness goals, including my custom targeted protocols that combine the products I recommend to address specific needs: heart health, immune support, and much more. To get started, just go to drhoffmanstore.com, drhoffmanstore.com.